Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm back and I'm mad.
Do we have something exciting?
Hello, everyone in chat. Short notice.
That wasn't
today.
exciting. I was waiting for some sort of massive triptych-like thing. Hang on,
I was actually a bit disturbed and couldn't get my eyes off. I was reading a bit.
Hero Hammer.
Yes. Interesting read, to say the least. If you fancy your old White Wolves from the early 90s, I recommend...
They're all sitting down there, man.
Yeah, mine are down there. But I can't... It's much more convenient to click on a link than to dig out than...
Oh, not for me. No, I still can't read stuff online. It annoys my happiness. Scrolling.
What do you think why I've printed that damn thing? Hello, Hazy, Fulcrum, Crispin, Dan, Lee, and Dutch, Grimwolf, and Duck the Fuck. I hope you all are well. If there are any weird sounds today from my desk, it's because I've cleaned my desk. I actually have space to put things, which is annoying. Needs remediation.
I cleared my desk. I had space to put things and then filled it up with things. Now there's no space anymore.
Yeah, that's the circle of life, is it?
That's what they tell me. I've got these things, which are like some sort of trollkin things from Privateer Press. But this guy in particular, I can't not see Snoopy on his face. Which you're not going to be able to see. I could flip to the other camera. I'm not going to. But every time I look at it, I just see like a little Snoopy face because it's got the muzzle, but it's not a muzzle. It's his chin and his mouth's up above it. But it looks like Snoopy. Well, I want to paint it like Snoopy.
I was just about to say, make him a white face, and then let's see how many people catch on to that. Hey, Tuffy, Collins. Oh,
how do I get rid of
from the
dust?
goodies?
This very soft, large brush. I was hooking through my old Wolfen stuff because I was looking for like a spare axe, so I had to go through them. And there was 5 sitting up there, and actually a set of legs sitting up there that at some point in the past I hadn't put back in the box. So now when I finally came around to opening it, I was like, oh yeah, I should put them away again. Lifted them down off the shelf, and by Christ, they were dusty. Oh lordy! Now,
I can't remember priming them grey. Oh, they're not primed.
Yeah, they weren't. They're very black underneath. It was a nice zenith effect. Also slightly textured and furry.
This is how the zenith highlighting works.
I see it all the time. I often see zenith highlighting going, ooh, and then I dust them. It's like,
oh shit.
Shame.
Oh, speaking of things, now here goes the assistant. I've got a new book.
Oh, it arrived.
Yes.
I was seeing some of the reviews kicking around there the other day.
Your terrain via the medium of XPS foam, hardwire cutters, and other things.
It's very good. Because one of the people who worked on it was called Jared, so that's always good.
Gerard Bohm and Michael Martin.
See?
Yeah.
You know, that's a sign of quality.
Funny thing, I actually met these guys.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's a lovely book. It's almost the same size as the Book of Mel. And one of the nicest things it comes with is a see-through plastics that are in the veins of LED windows.
Oh.
So you can cut them and put them into your...
Very clever.
Yes.
Oh. Huh.
So when I'm done with the Book of Mel, the Book of Gerard Bohm will be next.
So where to go,
the packing video, I don't know if I didn't have any response, so I'm guessing either they didn't see or they chose to ignore it. Either is fine by me. Yeah. I wish they would do some Legion. And who Somebody on the Discord mentioned the Kickstarter, which name escapes me with this. It was mentioned on OTT as well, with this a general rule set for.
Was it not Limburger? Is he not responsible?
Possibly, yes.
See,
And
told you.
yeah, it's nice that there's a rule set, but I need someone who provides me with miniatures.
Man's got a point. Without miniatures, you may as well just be role playing.
Yeah,
Which is fine for role playing, but
or
poor for mass battles.
Put a hand down my pants and call it a day.
Doing it right now.
Speaking of hands, why don't we go and jump into the project system? Oh, smells lovely in here.
Good plan.
Sisters of the Emperor's Mercy.
Sure.
By Dolga.
That sounds good.
Always reading Sisters and Mercy in one line gives me very much a throwback to weird 80s music.
Where? In the Temple of Love? Or in Mother Russia?
Yeah, Dr. Jeep and this corrosion. Hey no. I need one of those sunglasses he has.
It's classic aviators.
Andrew Eldritch, the thinnest guy on stage.
Very true. Very true.
So, he's done.
He's about to start work on his Sisters of Battle. I like this because they're all in the main classic metal Sisters of Battle.
90% of the old first edition models. So if you put those in a carry case, you're actually exceeding your limit you are allowed on a plane.
Yeah, you know. Not for carry-on. Carry-on's fine. I don't think there's a weight limit on carry-on, is there?
I can hear Lloyd go off right now.
Well, let's not worry about Lloyd.
Humongous pictures. Holy shit. This must have cost a fortune.
Depends when he got them.
Yeah, true.
And also, I don't think they're full-size squads, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes, 9, 10, 11, 12,
it's a much 14, larger force 16, than the...
I think there's... Yeah, there's... was that another one at the back? There's 19 Seraphim. Am I missing one? Oh, yeah, no, 20, yeah. So that is a full-size unit. That's okay. I approve. This is like my sister Battle Force, only with more paint on it.
These are primed, yes?
Yeah. Mine were prime ones.
Oh,
no longer. You understand, no longer primed. But yeah, old school sisters with an old school sister theme, which I wholeheartedly agree with.
Yes.
Because they look great. They looked so good that GW didn't even decide to vomit all over them when they redid them. They just increased the size of everything by like 20% for reasons.
Bigger sisters.
Yeah, bigger sisters. But apart from that, they kept the rest the same. They kept the aesthetic the same. They didn't fuck around with this. So well done them.
Yeah, why fix things that ain't broken?
That's very clever use of a Space Marine backpack there from a Blood Angel for his Canoness, I suppose. I imagine bigger everything in all directions. Imagine what my sister's Battle Force would look like if it was painted. Fuck, it'd be majestic. We can only dream, because we're not going to see it. I'm interested in the bases as well, because the bases have that cobblestoney look, but I don't think they are rolling pinned.
Well,
I think those cobbles may be paper.
On these ones, they look like roll pinned.
Oh yes.
So
I never bothered looking at the big things. Oh, they are then. Yeah. In that case, he's done a remarkably good job getting them fairly thin on those 25 mils. I would have just went with wallpaper for those, because fuck it, who has the time? 1 inch stamp, just go punch, punch, punch. Or 22 and a half, is it? GW things very peculiar size because they slope in. So 25mm bases aren't 25mm.
Or maybe just glue them on and then cut them with a cutter.
Oh, here's the time. And again, who could be arsed? I can't. That's why all my stuff's unpainted.
Yeah, these
Have to draw a line somewhere.
are lovely. I'm looking very much forward to seeing more on this.
He is going for the Saffron from Republic look with their hair. Needs to drop a bit of red or purple ink in there.
I'm really hoping he's having some nice decals for the vehicles.
But he laughing at Hazy Boy. The only other person who gets the Saffron fucking comment. Everybody else in the audience is going, what? Who? My word.
So, would you kindly explain it to the dumb
No.
German?
No. Not going to explain it to anybody.
Okay.
People have to Google it. Anyway. But yeah, so...
I'm not going to do that on stream. That's possibly getting killed or something.
Probably for the best. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the rest of that goes. Trying in the main to keep to older models. Although the Arc of Flagellants based on Witch Elves could be amusing, because I'm not sure what generation of Witch Elves they are. If they're the original Trish Morrison / Carden Witch Elves with the big fuck off 80s haircut, that would be amazing. But I have a sneaking suspicion they probably knew.
Weren't that these... this one? Or is these something else?
No, there's something else. They could be Sisters of Silence, which he's using as Celestians, perhaps. I haven't looked at the new codex, so I don't know if they can have that as equipment, because they didn't used to. I didn't mess around with any of that nonsense. I did have a load of penitents from the Redemptionists from Necromunda that I would use as dungers to push in front of my Sisters of Battle.
Well, yes, he needs.
They were all painted.
He needs some half-naked crazy people.
Well, he's got a couple of those in there. You can see them second row from the back. Sisters Repentia.
Ah, there.
But Arcoflagellants are cybernetic lunatics, whereas my lunatics weren't cybernetic. They were just guys in white robes who got pushed in front of the crusade. Die first. Time to die.
Take the bullet. Protect these sisters. Yes, very much appreciated. And hopefully we see more of this.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting and new. A lot of tonight's stuff is exciting and new.
Oh yes,
Get in early.
I've seen some very interesting things when I took a sneak peek.
You're not allowed to take a sneak peek.
Next up then is...
It's not why I send you the stuff in advance.
Oh.
You're not supposed to take a sneak peek.
Yes, I've seen that Laughing Boy streaming at the same time. I can't be helped.
Yep, we were here first.
Exactly. Also, he did this also when we once played RPG and was very much confused at the time. We were about to play. Oh yes, I forgot. But I'm guessing he will have his audience as well. That could possibly explain why Tuffy isn't here.
Tuffy was here, wasn't he?
Was he?
Pretty sure she was there at the start. Yep, see? Evening all.
Gurky. Where? Oh yes. Oh, I've totally missed her. Sorry, Tuffy. So, next one then is Dragon Empire House of the Golden Lotus by Boomer.
Decided to paint up some stuff by the medium of Tom Cruise's armor in The Last Samurai, which, as we know, is the most historically accurate samurai film ever put to celluloid.
As every Hollywood movie is.
Very
Historically
much so.
Absolutely correct and without any flaws. These
So
are
it's
3D printed miniatures. I see
Are they?
very ugly stepping on the shoulders and on the helmet.
That's a terrible shame because they come from a company called Titan Forge, who I know do real miniatures as well as 3D stuff. So
Shame.
hopefully that's one he's printed himself then and not one he's purchased.
I can't tell by the looks of the others. What does he say in the text?
No, it just says that they're from Titanforge. Got it from Titanforge sometime during the COVID-19 lockdown 1.0.
Well, the others don't look printed.
So,
at least
fair.
as far as I can tell.
That maybe that one was one he printed. Maybe that one just hadn't had the cleanup that the others had done before they put it in as a master. Only one way to find out is to send abusive texts to Titanforge.
What is it with you and your miniatures? Very green dragon.
Yeah, after having done the initial, decided to go back and get a couple of mounted ones to start invigorating the force. And because the way Saga Age of Magic works, you don't have to have full units of things, which is interesting. So you can split shit up.
I'm a bit disappointed that he's only pushing final pictures, especially with this dragon. I think how we got to this point would have been very interesting.
I imagine green on the scales and some form of red on the hairy bits. I could be wrong. Now, there is, in the very first part of the project, a link where he's got his painting recipe down for his own personal reference. But it is literally just a...
PDF.
Yeah. I primed this, I painted this, I highlighted this, move on type of thing. So you can follow the color scheme to a certain extent because the paints are there. You just have to work out the order in which to put them on.
Throw a dice and hope for the best.
Yeah. See, base, wash, highlight.
The base is interesting. It's a much wider or higher base as I would expect from a game on a skirmish level. It's very thick.
I've no idea where he got his bases from. He may have made them himself.
I'm guessing so. Looks like a cut-off piece of...
Because you have to remember, there are no bases for Saga.
But that's the thing that drives Warren still crazy, doesn't it?
No. The only thing that drives him crazy is square bases.
But why?
Don't know. He likes oversized round bases for some reason.
But I can see when he's using them in the clear plastic. That's okay. But then again, who am I to tell other people how to do their hobby? Do your hobby.
Well, I was going to say, it's your show. You're exactly the person to tell them.
No, I'm just judging people on how to do their hobby, not telling them how to do their hobby.
No, you know.
Also, funny, when we started, I was exactly at the point of the little goblin tutorial on how to paint green skin.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Yeah, and this is a point where I actually thought to myself, yeah, the magazines were cool, but painting tutorial in video form definitely is a step up.
I think so.
Yeah, at least by the comparison of these.
I don't mind painting tutorials that are written down.
I don't mind them either, but if you can watch it once from A to B, from beginning to end, it's a bit more... It's easier to follow along after that.
I suppose it depends how you take in information.
Possibly, and I've always been a child of television. Reading is hard. Speaking of reading, my current book of reading, The Winter King. How many names can one cram into the first few pages of a book?
I know, we'd have to ask Christopher Tolkien.
Jesus Christ. And that with me having problems remembering names at all. So I'm guessing if I'm half through the book, I will have totally messed up the storyline in my head.
Just keep a notebook beside you. and just write them down, and then you can start like drawing little coloured lines to show connections between people, like a red line if they hate each other, maybe like a little pink line if they love each other,
So like
yellow line if they're related.
like the things I did for the adventuring books in the early 80s when... Do you want to continue here? Read at number 227. If you want to go through the gate, read at number 406. And I've always mapped out chapter 1 goes to these chapters go to there.
You're flowcharting your way through it.
Yes. Gaming the system.
It's one way of doing it, certainly.
Well, I'm rambling on again.
Really?
Let's ramble on to the next one then. Oh, I see Hell's Bells.
You surprise me, Mr. Bond.
Scathing painting challenge. Duck the fuck.
Yes.
What the fuck has he done? A
It's-
challenge from Lass Hammer on Instagram. What is Instagram? Oh, that funny picture thing.
It's where all the kids do their TikTok videos, like what you do on YouTube.
Have done. Not anymore.
You say that.
Yes, for now. Because I'm out of ideas. I've no more fuel for short story fuck ups, and I'm not going to torture Horatio with more dad jokes. For some reason he liked to watch those.
You know, fish bite hooks, I think is the phrase, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, Doug has been working on a big model. I don't know if I've seen Dougie work on anything as large as this up until now. Plenty of infantry, yes. A couple of stompy monsters, but not I suppose what they would call a centerpiece model, a big fuck off bit of terrain rolling across the table. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But like he says, there's still work to be done on it. The base looks quite interesting. I also quite like how stuccoed some of the plaster onto the stonework to give it a rough texture, which is really nice.
Some spare bits and bobs. It's an interesting model. I'll give him that.
It's nice. He's there. It's a dual kit, as is often the one, so it can make either the Screaming Bell or a Plague furnace. But he's decided to combo them because that big brazier at the bottom there should be on the Plague furnace, but it looks spectacular in itself. So.
Oh, I love the way he worked around the gaps here.
Yep, that's what I was saying. Using the plaster mix to sort of stucco it on, stipple it on, and get a stone texture to the stonework as well, which is nice and different.
Stone looking like stone.
Oh, you know, I'll never catch
Never
on.
thought of
Never
that.
catch on.
Just like 3D printing will never catch on.
Never catch on.
I'm going to eat these words at some time in the future, I'm guessing, but not today.
No, you're fine today.
Speaking of eating, will we have cake next week?
Could have cake next week.
We could have cake.
Just,
Children, are you
know,
guessing why we are going to have cake next week?
It's important to remember that you're allowed to break Lent for St. Paddy's Day. Pope said that. Well, he probably didn't, but everybody in Ireland always assumes that he said that. So,
And if he didn't, he should have.
well, we do it anyway.
No, the cake won't be a lie. It's because next week marks 1 year of unofficial hobby hangout. Hail Corona!
This 2-week lockdown is starting to stretch on for a bit, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's starting to get to me.
Don't worry, it'll all be over by Christmas. That's what they tell me.
Oh, I'm just reading what Grimwolf was writing. Well, if they won't publish the Mandalorian novel, I'm hoping somebody else will pick up the mantle and do books on it. Would be a shame to let all that story go to waste. COVID-19 sponsored by Hobby Hangout. Yeah, sort of, more or less.
Makes sense when you think about it. I mean, the minute COVID-19 goes away, nobody's going to be watching us anymore.
Yeah, at that point...
That's why every now and again I go out and cough on people.
If that goes away and nobody is watching us anymore, we can actually start making hobby. How's that for a change?
I've got a bit of hobby. I've got a little plastic man here with a little sword.
Don't mention Gwulu on stream, Dutch. That is only bad luck. Speaking of, next one. Sleepy Hollow by Henry Light.
Yes, when you need a little less Henry in your diet, except no alternative. Henry Light.
So he's doing a Wargames Foundry thingamajig?
Yeah. Mostly what we're looking at here is some scatter / place on terrain. And there's a few just interesting little techniques. So we've got the symmetry. That's always good. We've got some nice furrowed rows for the planting, containing both pumpkins and corn for all your pumpkin and corn goodness. I like the use of the grouting tool to make the furrows.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think this is the first one for me. I've never seen anyone use that tool on a hobby. Or every time I see somebody making something similar, they go in line by line by line.
Oh, yeah. Oh, who's got time for that? Nobody has time.
Actually a interesting idea, not going the spackle route, because I'm guessing it's easier to paint? Potentially?
I don't know if there's any major difference as far as painting goes. Mick, bugger off, used wood filler for his Deserts Germans at the Bolt Action Boot Camp for texturing the bases. It's a bit more flexible than plaster, so you're less likely to have it sort of brittly chipping off in places. So it may be that. As far as painting goes, plaster or spackle or whatever you want to call it, and wood filler paint up more or less the same, so shouldn't make a blind bit of difference. But I thought there were just some really nice little pieces of set on terrain, which do the job lovely.
And it's a easy piece because he's using what looks like plastic or
cornrows.
Yeah. Or is it
if they're not plastic, they might be paper, because there's a couple of companies that do these, and I think one of them makes it out of wire with like paper pieces on it, essentially paper layers twisted and then curled out to give you the cornrows. I think Knock is one of the companies.
My point,
but yeah, they're
pre-made and not.
Yeah,
he didn't hand drill them all himself.
No. And the pumpkins in particular look like they are the hard plastic ones that Knock sell, which I keep looking at around Halloween time and then forgetting about them. And then like years later, I'll go, oh, I should get pumpkins, and then can't find any. It's very weird. and they do say they're not actually seasonal, but it seems like they get wiped out at Halloween. It takes a long time for them to reappear.
Well, why could that be?
Don't know.
Maybe
Americans too lazy to carve turnips. That's why. carve turnips, you fucks. We give you turnips.
I can't remember when that was, but sometime in the last 3, 4, 5 years, when somebody actually pointed out to me, the pumpkin carving is actually derived from turnip carving, and sent me some pictures of carved turnips, and I go, oh my god,
carved turnips!
Those are scarred.
They are one step away from skinning people's faces. A decent carved turnip from Ireland looks like it looks like a death mask that you would see in like a prison.
I can see why they were used to deter bad omens and shit.
Also, didn't have anything else. Carrots are too small. We're not all baldric here. Nope. Potatoes, newfangled modern invention of a potato. No, turnips the way to go. And then we gifted that to America. They looked at it and went, pumpkins are easier to hollow out. It's like,
We need pumpkin spice. The
Fuck's
spice
sake.
must flow.
I will say, in their defense, it was the Irish settlers who went, can't really find a turnip over here, but these pumpkins are a piece of piss to use, so we're just going to do that now. No longer will I suffer from repetitive strain injury from attempting to hollow out a turnip. But when I was a kid, it was fucking turnips at our front door. Gonna keep the bastards away somehow.
Couldn't you use power tools?
Fuck no. A spoon. You get a spoon. You get a bread knife and a spoon.
A sharp spoon?
Not so much, no.
Oh.
If you're lucky, it's a heavy spoon. If you're unlucky, it's a spoon that will bend the minute you stick it in and attempt to heave it out there. The first kid to hollow out a turnip without losing a digit wins.
Maybe we should make
Apparently we have a network error. Please try again. Click here to reload the player. Let me click here to reload the player. I've got a video now for random PUBG. 3.5 million grounds in South Korea. What the fuck is this? Why am I getting adverts, Tim?
Because Twitch.
How many Koreans do I have to kill to get 3.5 million? There we go.
lot.
Back. I can see a graveyard again. Much better.
You could sharpen a turnip and use it as a vampire steak.
Nice. That's very true.
Maybe On Tabletop should hold a turnip carving competition next Halloween. You think that would trigger some nightmares at some people's?
No, I just think people wouldn't bother their backside doing it. I remember one year they tried to do a pumpkin carving competition in work where they got all the different departments to each like carve a turnip or not carve a pumpkin and submit it. And like half of them didn't bother their backside. Some people were just terrible. Some people spent fucking forever doing it. And I really couldn't be fucked. So there are these little munchkin pumpkins. They're like the size of an orange. So I did one of those. I'm going, where's your entry? There it is. Going, are you taking the piss? I went, a little bit. In the same way I don't dress up for Halloween because I'm not here to amuse the fucking customers. I'm not a clown. This is not a circus, although occasionally that could be disputed based on senior management.
Hazy boy, why are you afraid of competition? Only because Dan works for the Souls and makes us all look bad every year. Well,
Shocking. I've seen what he does with those two swords. It's not that impressive. It's very Blackadder-centric night tonight, isn't it? I don't know how that happened.
Oh, it happens to the best of us. So next up then is some... What the hell am I looking at? Obsidian Golems. By Doug. Hey, Doug.
Yes, these ones are painted on like his other things where he's just stippled on some rock and went, I'll be back at some point.
So now we have got Walking Rock.
We've got, it's better than Walking Rock, right? I've got a set of rock and I've got two little dwarves herding them onwards, which is also the method for marking the nerve value on the golems, because it's a little 3-man regiment. You need to keep track on how much damage has been done to them, and so rather than have to worry about sticking that on the golems, you just get these guys to gently poke them in the right direction. Although they're also sorry,
you go that way.
yeah, that type of thing. You just keep going forward until we tell you to stop. But yeah, so can be used for Kings of War, although they can also be used for Frostgrave, which is I think where you did the first one for Frostgrave, Doug, wasn't that right? You're using it as a construct, and it was a case of necessity is the mother of invention.
I was just about to say, I think this one we had seen before with these bloody dwarven head in. Yeah,
so bits were missing, therefore I will improvise, adapt, and overcome. And it's been interesting watching it come together. Obviously, plaster basing is something that's very much the de rigueur at the moment in Doug's house, because everybody gets a bit of plaster basing. But I really like them. really like not just the work that's gone into making all three of them unique, although there is work that's gone into making all three of them unique with various dwarven weapons and bits stuck here, there, and everywhere. But I also really like the photography, because he's entered them for the Brush with Death, which is Mantic's painting competition. So it's not just, here's a photograph. We've got little photographs of them in situ, but we've also got montage photographs and backdrops and stuff, which is all delightful.
Sparky has a flag.
Flags.
But why?
Sparky used to be one of my key timers in GW Belfast. Sparky.
Is there also a town called Belslow?
Nah.
Nah? Okay.
Nah. I see what you're doing there.
Had to get that one off my mind. It was bugging me for ages. See, this is why I make bad jokes. They tend to start in the back of my head, and then they get louder and louder, and at some point I need to make them audible. Otherwise they start screaming in my ear, and then I do something stupid like buy more minis.
There's no town called Bell End, but there are plenty of Bell Ends in Belfast. Belfirsta. Yes, right of the river. So Doug, really nice set. I quite like the fact that they're, because normally they are painted lavery, so lots of glowingness and stuff, because they're generally used for naughty goblins, or not naughty goblins, naughty dwarves, but these are nice dwarves.
Naughty, naughty, naughty.
And therefore more just regular stonework. So it's all very muted palettes. I quite like it.
Yeah, I'm just going to mesh some buttons, hoping the project system will not collapse on itself.
Oh, it's been literally minutes since it's collapsed on itself, so.
Not for me today, at least, but that doesn't say much. I was busy working. And by working, I mean watching a progress bar clawing its way up and down the ladder.
Oh, nice.
Which is the best way to spend the day work when you're on a schedule. It's so annoying.
It's,
Oh, see,
interesting.
It's at 90%, 91, 92. It's again at 90. Why is it at 90 again?
Oh, I had a similar issue last night when I was trying to load a video on Pornhub.
You know the joke when the dude stops banging his chick and she asks, "What are you doing?" It's a new technique. I've saw it on Pornhub. It's called buffering. And for all the kids at home, this is not a kids show. Ask your parents what Pornhub is, and if they start getting red ears, go online. Ask there what Pornhub is. No, actually, don't. But ask your parents. They should talk to you about these things.
Like anybody who's managed to find this show and got this far knows. Bam, ba bam, 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 ba bam. Anyway,
yes.
Shall we move on from the obsidian golems?
Jump
I
into
notice
the
we've got 14 nerve on them, which means they're about to go away.
Next, we jump into a sector of Billion Suns.
Yes. Now, there's not much in here, but I like where he's going with this.
I was just about to ask, this doesn't look like a classic battle report, more like a board meeting?
Yes, yeah, because the whole point of A Billion Suns is you play corporations, you play the CEO at the head of a corporation. So Lord Sains, or Paul, as he's known, has come up with the Tri-Optimum Corporation. And he's got a whole slew there, at their public conference. If you're a shareholder, obviously you get to come in. Brian Jesus, who's not like Jeff and Amazon in any way, shape or form, explaining all about what their plans are for the coming future and for their shareholders. And they even have their own tagline: Tri-Optimum, Optimum Passion, Optimum Technology, Optimum Trust. And I love that, because it reminds me of years ago, my friends came up with an RPG called Nearside Project, and one of them came up with a corporation who invented superheroes. Essentially, they came up with a way of genetically manipulating people to make them superheroes, and their tagline was Zenith Corporation, because we care, because we can. So I just love the fact that he's started not like me going, I've got fleets, what can I use my fleets as? It's not like other people going, what ships do I need to play? But he's actually gone both feet straight in there and went, what will my corporation be? Who
How evil
are
can I
these
get?
people?
And while we're on the topic of Billion Suns, I was watching today a video of a solo play.
Yes, was it Ash put up the second solo play video from the campaign?
Yeah, and did I get this correctly? There's a solo play in the works, so it's not out yet, but
There is, no, it's already out, but it's a beta. It's not finalized.
Oh.
So I think in that solo play, if memory serves, he changed how the enemy ships, the IC, independent contractors, spawn. So every time
he
you
made
drop,
it more getting harder by the time and not making jumping on
and it's
pictures
interesting
early.
because somebody was talking about that, and I feel like I want to go back with the book and see what he would have got if he hadn't artificially capped his first two turns, because it was tight, but it was a victory in the end. But it came down to the last turn, and he had to pay more resources to force that victory, which is really interesting. And if he had played it the way it was written, I think it wouldn't have been as tight. I think he would have just got reamed brutally without even the common courtesy of a reach around long before then. So, but I mean, that's an interesting thing, that he can go back and go, look, Mike, this works better to have the incremental advance on it, which is very good.
I'm scared to look at that because I'm
Oh no, you should definitely have a look.
I'm afraid you could actually enjoy it, and then I would be even more tempted to buy the book, and then
The book's like 12 pence or something. It's Osprey. Osprey don't charge much for the books.
Yes, but once I've got the book, I want miniatures, and
You've
because
got
I'm
a big
lazy,
cabinet behind you.
those
filled
don't
with them.
work. Those
What?
don't work.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because they don't physically have to fly about. They just have to sit on stands, which looks like they're working from here.
It's because of how my brain works. These are Star Wars. I cannot proxy anything with that. Just
Don't have to proxy. That is your fleet. Your fleet is the Imperial Corporation going up against.
I have fighters galore.
Awesome. Also, it doesn't have to be the same scale. I mean, your X-wingy type fighters could be gunships or corvettes. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
But this seems to have baffled people massively, which is weird because it's completely figure agnostic, and people keep going, "Oh, what size should your ships be? Any size? Oh, I don't understand. Fucking literally, find some ships."
Corny, you out talking about this? Yeah.
My copy of Full Thrust is over there somewhere, lovely hardback. So yeah. Dace, I can't wait to see the Vindiluvian Empire. I did see your private project and then immediately went into it to have a nosy and discovered it was empty. I was a little bit disappointed, as I said. I'm not saying I'm always watching all of yous, whatever yous do.
It was a trap.
It was. So it was like, oh, Billion Suns. No, he's not said it public yet, but I'm just going to go have a nosy, wander about, poke the tires, see what it's like. I had some CR90s. I threw them in the bin. Those are cassettes, aren't they?
Yes, but no. Same but different.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So, try Optimum Public Conference. At some point, I will have to come up with something equally good.
Or you could,
or just steal that. Just delete his entry, because I'm pretty sure I've got that power, and then just
maybe
repost it as mine.
Maybe snag a speech of Blackadder from somewhere.
That all works as well.
Next up then is Wurzel's Mediocre Minis.
He's got a brand new
So why
Combine Harvester.
are people using names for themselves they can't speak?
What's that? What? Who? Wurzel?
Wurzel.
Wurzel's a particularly good name. like Wurzel Gummidge or the Wurzels. It probably has some sort of culty-like inference in England.
Well,
But
it's basically the German word for root. So.
Oh, well, there you go then. So it's nice. Little 15mm stuff. Massive pictures.
So I shouldn't click on them, you say?
Oh, you can always click on them. It has some weird writing on them, like the AI quad camera. So I don't know whether that's like equivalent of a quad anti-aircraft gun. But
maybe it's the iQuadida camera. Something.
Yeah, so getting layered into stuff. I like how just the sheer volume of batshittery on his work in progress table there.
Yeah.
Starting from the bottom, working way up, we have an elephant. Looks like one of the 1/100 scale Zvezda ones. We have some potentially metal Greeks with Phrygian helms. There's a sister silence. There's a gripping beast late Roman. There's just fucking everything in all the scales. It's a joy to behold. It's just like the shit I have beside me.
I'm just waiting for the project to come along where somebody sticks a note in the background saying, "Hello, you wankers."
Oh, why not? I mean, it's a way to do it. Are they Vitrix Greeks? I don't know. I've stayed away from Vitrix Greeks because I've got a fuckload of War Games Foundry Greeks, so I don't need any more Greeks. Although randomly I did pick up 25 Foundry Macedonians recently, and when they arrived, they came courtesy of somebody must have been selling them not via their work, but when I bought the stuff, it was packaged in a company's box, where it was stamped and sent off. So I won't name names, but somebody was just offloading their old stuff, and it's like, well, I could pay shipping, or I work for this company, I'll just ship it out from there. It's like me going onto eBay selling shit and then just taking it up and getting the guys to box it up at OTT and send it out. It arrived with stamps on it. I'm going, that's not who sold that. It's interesting. So yeah, it's more Ferdinand's, and then up the top, the AA.
Hi, Jim.
Half tracks are lovely. Which
I
leads me to believe I should
love
paint mine.
This picture. This is so.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
I think you could actually take this, frame it, and sell it under the title "The Hobbyist." And every hobbyist would go and say, "Yeah, that's basically more or less the table at one point in time."
Fuck that. Go to the more. Is it more stuff done? Yeah, more stuff done. The second entry. Right.
Yeah.
And then I would very much like you to click on, I believe it's the first picture in there. Is it? No, it's the second picture. You can see it better. Oh, we're over it. Fuck's sake. Can you just see the legs sticking out on the left of the screen? It's one of the Green Martians from Bassoon.
Yeah,
that we were looking at the other day on the Indie of the Week.
I was
Bronze
just
Age.
about to ask you. I've seen this monstrosity and was going, what the hell is that?
That's what John Carter's there, fighting the good fight with/against, depending how he's feeling any day of the week. Anyway, yeah, I just when I spotted the face looming into view, I was like, ooh, didn't notice him first. It's like, what else is in the background? I'm so intrigued. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. Bloody hell. This was the link for Jim again, because he was asking for it, and we're now venturing on to the next one, which is a beautiful hand-painted map.
Mips. What kind of
Miniature World of Ice and Fire by Ogre Blood.
Yep.
So if I think of Ice and Fire, this map does not come to mind.
Right.
Not...
Is it because you're just imagining boobs? Because I have to point out that maps were not boobs. I know everything else in that TV series was boobs.
Boobs and blood and fire. And sometimes booze.
Mostly boobs.
Boobs. I need a boob button.
But yeah, interesting because I don't know if they're all. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're not all from Song of Ice and Fire, because there's a guy in the middle who looks just too different. But working his way through the Cool Mini or Not stuff and doing a delightful job of them. No real point in bigging some of the pictures because I don't think they get any bigger.
I don't?
Well, some of them don't.
A bit, not much.
The first one I clicked on, I'm pretty sure shrank. So, you pay your money, takes your chances. You may spend a lot of time clicking for no real benefit. Yeah, that one. But it does show you some nice work. And they are a nice set of miniatures. They just decided to go for a GW-esque ambigulated scale, which, you can't have everything, I suppose. Which means it's of no use to me. But they do look quite nice.
Yeah. They're not too shabby.
Mm.
Oh, and he has added Conan and Conquest.
Is that where the Conquistador came from? That makes sense. The Warlock of Quarth. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Quarth?
Any relation to Quark? The cheese.
I thought you meant Quark the barman from Deep Space Nine.
No, the cheese.
See, that would be something for Billion Suns. A Deep Space Nine station.
Would be.
As a centerpiece.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a nice centerpiece though, not like B5. Just saying.
Nobody is saying that your Babylon 5 space station toy isn't a great thing, and
just saying it's better than Deep Space Nine. It's so much better than Deep Space Nine that Deep Space Nine copied the entire premise of Babylon 5. So,
But did it only copy, or did it copy and improve?
No, it didn't improve.
Fair enough.
Not by a fucking long shot.
Speaking of copying...
They had a man in a bucket, for Christ's sakes.
Gene
and I'm not talking about Ned Kelly.
Gene stealers are nicking things too. And why is there Immortan Trump at a podium?
Because, when you need...
What's wrong with you, Firelock?
When you need... It's nothing wrong with him at all. When you need someone to lead your Gene Stealer cult, I can't think of a better Magus / patriarch than...
Have you seen the troll he's wearing?
Yes, I have.
Oh, God. Who's the sculptor?
I know they did Grimwolf. That's why I'm saying they just copied him. Because then they turned around afterwards to the showrunners at the DS9 and went, you should probably think about doing this. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Who's the sculptor of this Immortan Trump?
That's Kev. So it's one of Hasselfree's.
Oh, God. This genius. I love it.
Oh, it's delightful.
It's a lovely mini. I give him that.
And I can't be entirely certain. But I have a sneaking suspicion that was sculpted before he became president. So it was while he was still doing his campaigning for the candidacy, because Mad Max came out, I think, a year or two before then. So it was just a case of this is fucking hilarious, and it is. I just love it. It speaks to me, and as you can see from the crowds at his
inauguration,
at his podium there, that it's working very well for him. So.
Yeah, they seem to really love him and to cheer him on.
I mean, he has said he's going to.
He's going
to turn things around. Yep.
I sure hope these chests have about 11,480 votes in. Oh God. This is not a project post. This is a salt mine.
Oh, it's amazing. But I mean, all those gene stealers are going to get jobs back, which up until now have been going out to other Xenos races on Necrobunda. You know, it's good.
Oh, fuck. Gene Stealers in Georgia, confirmed. Next. Oh. Brigand. Warbands for Saga, Age of not magic, but Vikings.
Age of Vikings, indeedly doodly. This wasn't the only thing I'd seen, but I thought I'd rein myself in for once in my life, which I thought was very good of me. Reining myself in. Now, I can't remember if we had looked at the initial boat building before, or if I'd just looked at it and talked to somebody about it, because that's all I do with my time, is walk through the project system and talk about it to people, whether they want me to or not. It makes me fascinating at the checkouts in supermarkets, I'll tell you that. You do not want to get stuck behind me.
I'm just imagining some old woman standing behind you going, please,
Yeah,
help,
if they don't want to hear about it, then I suggest they stay 2 meters away.
So you're saying
COVID regulations.
Lena needs to get you a T-shirt with the printing on it saying, if you're getting too close to me, I'm going to start talking to you about my hobby. I'm not going to stop.
No, there's no point in warning people off. That's hardly fair. That's like blowing a whistle before you start shooting at ducks during duck season. No, just makes it harder for you to hit your target. Anyway, I digress.
These shields are different.
Shields are lovely. We see so many transfers these days because it is a piss simple way of doing it, that whenever you get somebody actually hand painting, and Doug does a lot of this as well,
and
but
these are
freehanding the stuff on, it's really nice to see, and it's such a refreshing change, because if you go to a Saga tournament, unlike a lot of the other people who all have exactly the same shields on their miniatures, you at least have this little sort of flavor of your own unique warband, and it's done a really nice job on the shading as well. I like it.
He's given them some depth by getting edge paints. Oh, these are really nice looking.
Now, I don't know why the second shields are there. Are they his templates to work off?
For the ship, presumably?
Could be for the ship. Could be. I'm not going to say it's not. I like to imagine that those shields are just there permanently.
They go on the ship.
No, that's a bit dull. I'd much rather the idea that he's just got 20 odd bottle tops with shields on them permanently, and that way he doesn't have to think when he's painting a shield up. Just looks at the base, goes, "That's what I'm copying. That's my template." But again, the boat is a nice touch, scratchy built as well. Got the decking on layered up. There are a few companies out there that are doing resin and doing MDF and doing plastic versions of boats and the like, but there's a bit of work has gone into that in building it up.
This is not made, this is constructed like a genuine boat would have, with clamps and overlapping pieces of wood.
With clams? I don't think Vikings use clams to build their boats. I mean, they've got no hands. They're not going to be very efficient at boat building. Maybe other bivalve mollusks are better. I'm not sure.
Hey, fuck you.
Anyway,
he says.
I really like it. The fact that it's not just I'm building a warband of Vikings. I'm also going to build a palisade wall and a boat to cart them around on.
And to add insult to injury, he's actually really good at painting his little fellows.
Now, has said that he was expecting to be further along for this last update, or the current update. So it's interesting as well. They've set goals, going, here are my goals, here's where I hope to be. I've not quite made there, but at least it's not I've not quite made there, everything's still in grey plastic. There is progress on it. It's nice seeing that just the sheer range of stuff that's going into it at the moment. So all very interesting.
Yes. Too much talent, too much ingenuity.
I have a Revel one as well. At some point, I will build it. I will build it.
Well, Doug, if it's plastic, you could simply grind the lower parts down, I guess.
Yeah. No, not really. Once you, because it is, it's entirely out of the water, so it's full keel.
Yeah.
When you cut that away, essentially you've only got like a couple of centimeters at the front and back that are actually going to be holding the ship together. Because there's such a large amount of keel you have to remove. There was two things I was thinking about, Doug. One was actually just you could remove the very slight part of the keel at the very bottom where it's the thinnest, and it's still going to rock quite a lot back and forward, but then just build up a bit of modeling putty, like a wave in a V shape that you can just slide in and then just have that. Or, that was my first thought. My second thought was not to use it as a boat. Let me see. My Gangs of Rome bookmarks here. Oh, now the question is, where in this book is this picture? Talk amongst yourselves, don't mind me. Ooh. Sorry. Must
make it a house.
Exactly. Literally that.
Or like what the what's his face Black Magic Craft has done. Just cut it in the middle and put it 90 degrees up and do a house that way.
That seems very peculiar.
You actually get 2 houses for the price of 1 boat.
Seems rum. I wouldn't listen to him.
Rum?
Best rum, old fruity.
Where's the rum gone? Where's the rum gone? Where has the rum gone?
Is that a song?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh. Find many pictures of boats. You can find the fucking picture of this sodding. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Fuck me, that was right at the front.
The picture escapes him. No Dutch, not TikTok.
No.
And the suspense won't kill you, my children. We will leave that to the spiders.
Might kill you. There's the whole section on fortifications. Where the fuck is the section on the boats? This is very annoying. I am annoyed.
And here we see a Jerry in his natural habitat getting annoyed by a book.
That is very true. I have too many. I have an awful lot of bookmarks in here, but the bookmarks are in here for a project I was going to start a while ago on my Saga Force. I never got around to starting. Anyway, I digress. Essentially what they used to do, Doug, and there's quite a nice picture in here, is say you were, I don't know, fucking off down the Volga, heading towards the tropical climes of Constantinople, and it was getting to Baltic o'clock in the year and you couldn't travel any further. You would pull your boats up, essentially build like a small wall around the upturned boat. So you'd flip the fuckers upside down and then just build like short walls and turn those into houses until you were prepared to move on again. So in the same way Romans built marching forts, the Vikings did something similar using their boats, which means you don't have to piss around with them at all. You can just make a nice little feature of a Viking camp with an upside down boat. And there was a really nice illustration of one in this book, but like I say, fucked if I know where it's gone. Somebody's probably taken it out while I wasn't looking.
You sure it's
Bastards.
that book?
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely this book, which is an English translation of a Norwegian book called Vikinger at Krig, Vikings at War, which is excellent if you're interested in your Vikings.
Here's the link to the next project, children. We will
Yeah.
on. Jerry will join us
I'm
later.
going to put my book down any minute now. If I find out I'm not showing you anymore because it's annoyed me now. Fuck you, book. You had your chance to shine on the telly, and now it's gone. Oh, there it is. Oh, I was right in the fucking middle as well. Shame. Shame.
Well, now people will want to see it.
No, well, you know, it's by the book, it's on page 256, 257. Just saying.
Oh, that's an interesting. It's a whole town, not just one ship.
Well, it's a party's worth, so what, 6 or 7 ships that they've already got set up with several more in the harbour. But literally just flip the fuckers upside down and then just build small wooden things. I like how it's right by a raped castle of some description, which looks not dissimilar to one in Ireland. So I'm wondering if they've... I know they've said here it's Camp in Repton around 1873. But I can't help but feel it's that castle in Ireland that's just got fucking ruffle stomped. Anyway, I should put you back. Oh, I won't put you back. Well, that's too far for me to stretch.
So the next is
can't be arsed.
Stormcast to Stormlord by Ogre Blood.
Ogre Blood. You've done this one already, haven't you?
No, the link, yes.
Oh, well done you, son. Well done you. It's interesting. Somebody who walked into a supermarket and seen a magazine with the GW figure on it and went, that could be actually something quite nice. I then got home and went, ooh, it's a bit busy. Time to start cutting everything the fuck off that. So, yeah. Almost got it down to, and this is what I'm saying about the unusual scale. The very first picture shows you the ridiculous size of the Cool Mini or Not songs of Fire and Ice. Because we know those Stormcast models are bigger than ogres for most real games, and that thing is the size of, I think that's the Mountain, so ridiculous of Clock Hero. So yeah, they are just.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. So Cool Mini or Not have decided to go with GW scaling, and I think that's a crossbowman from Conquest again, another ridiculous scale. Why these fucks not use a regular scale? I would like my models to be able to use more than one system. Well, that's not going to happen because we're going to make these things all fucking stupidly big. I suppose I could use them as giants against halflings.
Half giants?
But yeah, so start carving the stuff off and replacing it with less over the topness on the actual detailing. Sometimes less is more. So it's nice to see it being sort of pulled back in some restraint. It's also nice to see a hexagonal GW pot looking so clean.
I would like his painting handle very much.
Looks like that one's only been opened recently.
Funny thing, mine looks the same, even though it's been empty now for a year or so. These things hold up. Yeah, and he's done a fine paint job, though I'm not too fond on the shield on his rear end, which
his bum guard
looks a bit like he's afraid to walk dark alleys alone.
Hey, I would be too if I was in that Game of Thrones world where it's all about sex
and the penetrations.
It's like 90% sex, 78% politics, and then maybe like 2 to 3% fighting. I think that's more or less the breakdown.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's how maths work.
Yeah. It's totally how maths work. I know that. I read it on a thing. But yeah, it's just a really nice, simple conversion and then nice paint job. Shame about the big mold line down the hammer, but you can't have everything.
Yeah. There must be imperfections, otherwise the universe would collapse on itself.
Collapsing universes are bad. I learned that from Neil deGrasse Tyson as he was explaining it to like a 6-year-old.
The universe goes. Next up, Gorka. Still doing Marvel Crisis Protocol?
Still, yes. He's been working on the Inhumans, which I've really just included because that dog is delightful.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Amanda, are you there? Possibly. I didn't see her yet. She said she would take some time off from the hobby, so I'm guessing she's not with us today. If she were, at this point, she would go screaming, "Doggy!"
Everybody's favorite Marvel dog, Lockjaw, who's the size of, I suppose a Volkswagen.
Yeah, a beetle or something.
Yeah. And can teleport, which is also good, which is what that unusual tuning fork in its head is. So hang on to Lockjaw, he'll take you wherever you want to go.
I really like his way of working. A very simple.
I've never seen a hippo in real life, whereas I've seen Volkswagen Beetles. So
it looks like a simple style, but I'm guessing it's a lot more work than it looks like.
I imagine so. I don't know how much airbrushing is done, because some of the things like Medusa's hair has a lot of subtle transitions. Lockjaw's body, you can see sort of subtle transitions as well on that, and so I expect some of that is done with airbrush for speed, and then maybe just finish off with brushwork again. The Wasp's wings were particularly standoutish for me, which was really nice set. But this is one that's been ongoing for a while, which has been really annoying me because it's mostly been hidden. He only set it public at the end of February. So I've been looking at it for a while. I'm going, well, fuck you then, if you're not going to make it public.
Can't show it to anyone.
Be like that. Well, I can see it, so I don't care about anybody else. But, so it's just appeared, but it's a big project already.
Yeah.
So
for anyone wondering, we are about a third down. There's a lot more.
There's Frank Castle as well, being all Castley and Frankish.
Yeah, being very grumpy all the time for whatever reason.
I have no idea. My child's dead. My wife's dead. Dry your eyes, Frank. Dry your eyes. But there's when you start heading where we are, you're at Gomorrah. Later on, when you start seeing some of the stuff, he does alternates. So there are a couple of variations of Valkyrie. So one based on comic book Valkyrie, and one based on based on Valkyrie from the Marvel films, which is nice because it shows the difference. I think really strikingly that a change of color scheme can make to a model.
Yeah, it's a striking difference, to say the least. I had actually to look twice to see if it was actually the same model. Oh, pumpkins. Yeah,
the Green Goblin, everybody's favorite pumpkin throwing lunatic, and there's Miles Morales with a Nike swoosh on his trainers there as well.
Oh, false advertising. So I'm getting the impression he has painted literally every Marvel model under the sun.
I don't know if it's everyone. I do like how if you blacklight Venom, he glows. Although at the same time, I'm not sure what he's used to make that glow under blacklight. No, I'm not checking. Don't tell. Yeah. It's certainly a vast majority of them. There are a few I don't think I've seen Strange in amongst it, although maybe I missed it the first time I went through because there's a previous page to it as well. So if it's not a complete run, it's not far off a complete run. But they're really nice. They're really crisp and clean. He's got that beautiful style where it's just painted neatly, right colors, right area. Don't go for grim realism. Is that a thing that we see these days? I suppose. Leaning into the fact that they are comic booky.
Realism and comic-y.
Yeah. And I mean, it's terrific. It's really nice, especially like the Hulk is very poppy.
Yeah, I think
in his green.
If you put the Hulk into direct sunlight, you may go blind.
That's the best way to do it, I suppose. Best way to do it. I will have a look at the previous entries because I'm curious now. You shouldn't. You should just
No, I
try
won't.
and get back to the top of the page.
I'm climbing the ladder, hoping I'm not starving on the way up.
Yeah, no, because the first page is the stuff from the core set. So we're not seeing Stephen Strange.
It's amazing.
But yeah, apart from that, I think it's pretty much everybody else is kicking around in there. So kudos.
Are these two different Groots, or did he change the color?
It's entirely possible they're two different ones. Like I say, there's a lot of things that have been done twice. Some in a more comic booky style, and some slightly more crisp.
The Punisher could very well be used with some green stuff and make his face white, and you had one of the Misfits.
Fair enough.
The facial expression fits perfectly. Oh god, now I got this song stuck in my head again. Die, 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 my darling.
Well, somebody has to.
Bloody brain, why does it work this way? For some unknown reason, I'm getting musical reference to every second word I'm putting into my head, which can be very annoying.
I wouldn't worry about it. It could be worse.
Yeah.
You could have said, you know,
books could be talking to me.
you could have said it was the Metallica song.
No.
I've seen somebody did a cover of The Sound of Silence recently.
Oh yeah.
And they referred to it as a cover of Disturbed's
Yes.
Sound of Silence.
Did the cover too, and
I was just looking at it, and I was scrolling through the comments, and about, you know, way far further down the comments than it should have been, somebody was going ... disturbed ... I think you'll find. I was like, why did it take me so? How come no other fucker has noticed this?
Because people
everybody's fucking children.
don't care anymore.
Ex-mugger jigger burger. I couldn't give a thunder and fuck, mate. Why don't you jog the fuck on? Or fuck the fuck off?
Oh god. Ban. Get lost, you sudden...
Smashing Cyclops with beers right now. That's the way to do it.
You know what word really is missing in our show today?
Can't. No, the bases, Demon, they come with them. Hang on, I've got Proxima Glaive, or Proxima Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight here, and I'll just show you. So when you get any of the models, they will throw in a sprue, and the sprue will contain a number of bases. So even though there's only 2 models in this kit, it's cheaper / easier, in the same way GW used to do this. It's easier for them to put in a whole sprue than it is for them to pay somebody to cut these. So every time you buy models, you get multiple. So it means you've got 4 choices of molded bases for 6 choices, 4 small and 2 large, and you just need 1 of each. So the bases are really, really nice. Although I think they're a bit weird size-wise for some things, but for some games I play that don't care about base size, and you know, it means I've got spares. But they're really nice. I know Renedra do a set of modern bases and like cobbly bases and stuff. These are as thick as fuck.
The last set I got was the Goblin team and from Blood Bowl, and there were no multiples of bases in. They actually all came separate.
Yeah, that's because GW stopped doing. They've.
And the bases are
in the old
cheap.
days. In the old days, they used to just do it because it was on a sprue. They don't come on sprues anymore. They're all individually cast, which is why they have like the pack ring in the middle.
Yeah,
because that's the injection point, so they could
save.
Flimsy. So they could save the fractions of a pence. Because Wobetide, you give somebody 16 bases when they only need 13. You know, because fuck that. But no, in the old days when they used to do things on sprues, it was cheaper to give you multiples, and these guys are still doing that. And I like the fact that you can have options, because it's nice, you know. Someday I will put these models together.
I need to address something Rolf has been saying in chat. People claiming Hurt is song by Johnny Cash are surely out of the mind. It's, yeah.
Yeah, we all know that was by Billie Eilish. So I'm down with the kids. I'm on fleek.
It's... You probably have seen any variation of this when you see somebody walk along and they got a Nirvana t-shirt on and somebody says, "Hey, cool, I've got the CDs as well," and they go, "What?" And they literally have no idea what Nirvana is. And you, God.
I have the cassettes. I didn't have a CD player when I was that young. Cassettes
It's
are the way to go.
I mean, come on, people. It's not like modern music really does anything new or inventive. 90% of the shit they do is a rehash of anything that has already been there. And probably they nicked it from somebody else who nicked it.
Very true. On that note, weirdly, I've discovered today that the first ever live playing of Stairway to Heaven was in Belfast 50 years ago. That's where Led Zepp decided they would play that one.
Oh.
And I can only assume it was just a gentle reminder to everybody that this country was fucked. Going, you may not make it home from this one tonight. So here's a happy little ditty.
Well, on that happy note, let's go on to Imperial Guardsmen.
Sure.
Protecting our virginity since 1985. So
That's
spare.
not true,
No?
because they weren't the Imperial Guard at that stage.
Okay.
They were the Imperial Army.
Yes.
But anyway, apart from that, we're fine.
So they were defending them as the army, and now they're guarding it as the guard.
It's true. At some point, the Imperial Army was broken down for no apparent reason. However, some interesting stuff going on here. Apart from press molds to make Imperial arms, because they're required to put onto older models to make them cohesive with the rest of the force. So that's quite cute. Because when you get past the humans, and oh my god, I've got so many of these models kicking around. Back when you used to be able to run commissar squads.
Oh,
Fuck
God.
yeah. Have you met my commissar training squad? Time to eat it, bitches. But yes, as you can see, he's been casting those for a reason, because he's got space dwarves. And
Squads!
his space dwarves needed to be upgunned for the modern era. And I have to say, the use of the current arms works quite well, because they've got those nice little shoulder pads on them that works with their lovely helmets. So
These look gorgeous. We need trikes.
squats and exo armor as well. That'd be cool.
I never understood why GW binned them.
Squatted them because
Yeah.
they weren't selling.
But
This is
that
the long
never-
and the short of it.
That never stopped them to make something.
You know, apparently for this one occasion it did. You know,
And for
Yep.
something that didn't sell, people are still raging on about them today.
because it was an iconic thing. It's like discovering elves don't sell for Lord of the Rings and just go, you know what? Fuck Rivendell. Fuck your green elves.
Not part of Lord of the Rings
Bam.
anymore.
Yep, just we're taking them away now. Well, maybe if you'd have fucking bought more, would have kept the Rivendell elves. I suggest you all go out there and make sure you purchase hobbits and Dunedain Rangers and shit, so that they don't go away as well. Because there's always that looming threat.
The first Warhammer 40k novel I read, I can remember quite vividly that there was a scene where a space dwarf made fun of the tech marine doing chants and shit on a machine and going, nah, he needs some lubrication, mate.
Yeah, that sounds like Grim from the Inquisitor series.
No.
So Jack Draco's private squat engineer who ran a ship, and he had the assassin Mylindi.
I can't
who had-
remember what the name of the book is. For Love Nor Money.
Oh right, no, that sounds too modern for me.
Yeah, it's an ancient. It's
Still too modern. I read the Draco Inquisitor books. So Inquisitor, Harlequin, something. There was a trilogy, and those were the only 40k ones I really read. I couldn't really be arsed with the others. I don't actually, to be brutally honest, I don't think there were many others back then.
There were
So
six
fucking
or
long
seven
ago.
books,
So long ago.
and they were
Pages didn't exist. Everything was in
different.
cuneiform.
Did I?
Was Draco in the Inquisitor game? No. Jack Draco never made it. There was a model that was similar to him, which was the Inquisitor and Terminator armor. That people often just went, that's Jack, but he was never actually officially a Draco model made, which is a shame because he was great.
The book was actually called Inquisitor.
In that case, I'm right then. So it was Grim.
Yeah.
Grim was his little engineer. I can't remember the name of the navigator who ended up going a bit wibble over some Slaneshi demon who kept licking his face. He had to be polished off because he had gone wrong. That was a great setup. And it was a great set of books because it wasn't just here's a bunch of SPAC Marines doing stuff. It was here's an Inquisitor with his mixture of people on board his ship because he's picked the best, and occasionally he runs into other Inquisitors who are gobshites who need to be ignored, avoided, or possibly killed because they're getting in his way.
The thing is, these 6 or 7 books that were very early on and very different from core design from what's on the paperback, they went out of print and they never came back when GW restarted 40k as books.
Because you can't be putting shit like that out for the kids these days. They'd get it all. They'd have a funny feeling like when they climb the ropes in gym class. You can't be doing that. It also had the description of what a bolter was, which
Yeah.
I love to this day. And it still makes me laugh every time I see a picture of a bolter with these fucking casings firing all over the ground.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shame. Those I feel these books had. Well, again,
that was my
Soul.
Lindy turned into. She was weird because she'd been fucked around with by the Assassorium or whatever the fuck they were called, specifically to make her into a hybrid gene stealer. But it meant she could no longer use polymorph to turn into anything else, whereas before she used to be able to change into whatever. That was good because Grim got cut off from the rest of the group and she grabbed him and couldn't say anything to him in her gene stealer hybrid form. I think Jack was watching it all from little cameras because he had little spy flies everywhere, and he was going, I wonder if he's shitting himself, thinking he's about to be carried off to be impregnated. Because he was a fucked up guy.
Welcome.
It's good.
You're a bit late.
Tally Google, yes. Good old Google. I remember now.
Let's Google the next project then. Scripps does Vikings.
Yeah, that book did go wrong when they met the demon. But, quality, every bit was quite. It was like when Kim Newman used to write fantasy books for them. Raven Feast, which for some reason isn't Saga, which is a little bit confusing for me. But I'm prepared to believe that, it's also a game. On the subject of Little Wars TV, if you haven't been paying attention, they've announced the nominations for the 2021 Caesar Awards. So if anybody wants to vote for Best Painting Tutorial, Best Game, Best Podcast, blah, 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 all specifically for historic stuff, it's worth going over to Little Wars TV.
So that's littlewarstv.com or littlewars.tv?
You're going to make me look things up now, whereas I just press bookmark folder normally. I'll do this. Then I will copy it into the chat is the easiest way to do this. I'm
going to put it into the link list for people to go
for
on later.
People.
Yeah, when the video goes up on YouTube.
So I need to copy link address. Okay, so That. Holy shit, that's a lot of words. Is that the... Is that just some sort of... Oh, right, okay.
This
I
is
just-
a weird redirect.
It is a weird redirect, but because it doesn't go directly to their website, they've got a specific one for the voting. It's very important.
And I'll put that into there too. Let's go there. Very much appreciated. So, Vikings not being Saga, but I'm pretty sure he can be convinced otherwise.
Yeah. And their Footsore, which is always a good place to start as far as models go, because Bill did some lovely stuff before he decided to become a photographer. God bless his cotton socks. Best get them while they're still gettable. Also, just quite like the four berserkers that Bill did, because they're not knackered. They are just lunatics. Tree stump leaping one is quite nice. I hope he's got the fella who's got a spear right through his guts, who's holding it with one hand while he's clubbing the shit out of somebody with his weapon in the other. We will hopefully see in time. And it's another nice paint job where you've got a bit of freehanding on the shields as well. So
it looks really nice.
I suppose that's going to be the World Serpent there, which I always remember Adam painting on that weird Hobby Night Live thing.
Short one. Interesting paintings. Very colourful basings.
Oh yeah, you've got to add a bit of colour.
Yeah, but needs some more blood.
No, I don't think it needs any blood.
More blood.
Keep the blood far away.
Blood. Excellent. Super Fantasy Brawl. Margarethan Apprentice. So is this some kind of weird advertisement tie-in? I don't think so, is it?
No.
That's good to hear. Not
No,
paid,
he's,
not sponsored, anything. Simply, oh fuck, look at the paintwork on that wing.
Yep. That's why he's in here. It's purely about the hobby.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
But it's a very interesting way of doing the faded blending. It's just essentially dots. So you start with the brownish red at one side, you start with the yellow at the other side, and then in the middle you sort of do overlaid dotting, and you can see it better there. Which when you're zoomed like that looks very stark, but if it was actually looking at it at miniature size, it's quite a nice effect on it. It's relatively subtle and quite clever.
Look at the detailing of that gemstone. Oh.
Die!
Oh,
Look,
hail
evil
for me.
death chicken.
See,
Evil death chicken.
this is how you paint fire.
But again, it's unusual the way the thing has gone, because you've got the fire, which is nice. You've got this line of coals, gems. I'm not sure what
Lava
the story
stone?
what the story behind them is, but the fact they've been highlighted up as if they were gems and they're reflecting essentially the light, the high point of the flames back. It's just a different way, because I would never have thought of painting them in a sort of a gemstone-y style. Possibly as something like blackish red lava, like the dried pumice, very matte, very stark in comparison. I wouldn't have gone that super poppy, and it's nice to see when people do these things. Now, this could all be based on the artwork from Super Triple Bleu, because I've never seen it. But it's just a really, really interesting decision, I suppose, is the best way to put it, on the style of the painting. It's nice.
It's definitely a very eye-catchy thingamajig paint job. That word escaped me.
And then I'm assuming that's some sort of hunter based on the huge bear trap right in front of them. Now, it could do with a few more. Because me being me, I've got tons of little, what do they call them? Birch pods that look like leaf
Tiny leaves.
scatter. Yeah. I'd be tempted to put a few just on the middle of that trap, as if they've disguised it with some twigs and leaves. And then they're just standing there shooting, waiting for people to come up close. So they step in it and get an ankle full of quite vicious-looking giant stony teeth.
Or put some a little wedge of cheese in it.
Oh, cheese! I fucking love that idea, actually. I really like that idea. Just a super, I mean, just like a really sharp
wedge of cheese. with big holes in it.
I was going to say drill holes in it, yes. Pick your Swiss cheese. Do I have any models with traps? I'm bound to have a fucking trap somewhere.
Next on Jerrycan, how to make a realistic-looking wedge of cheese.
You two can make a Gouda or some form of Jarlsberg. Yeah. Anyway,
please
really
insert
nice
your
jobs.
Wallace and Gromit here. The moon.
Cheese in the bear trap against the Skaven army. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
That would make for an awesome diorama. An Imperial Guard defending some weird town and a Skaven army on the charge. And in front of the town, a lot of small bear traps with cheese in it.
Just cheese in them.
At that point, anyone could actually say, your army is really cheesy.
Correctamundo. Mein Freund.
We need some special rules for Age of Sigmar. Cheese-laden traps work best against Redkin.
Do they still have Skaven in Age of Sigmar?
I
suppose they do, didn't they? Did they? I dimly remember them having something on an oval base, which shouldn't have been on an oval base, which leads me to believe it has been Age of Sigmarified.
Or maybe do a Dwarven Blood Bowl player with a cheese trap on it and giving him advantage playing against the Red Ogre.
Yeah. It's like, we used to do this at school. It was, primary school. We're not talking exactly advanced sort of thing, but just to do smell the cheese. And it was like the block of cheese sitting on the platter. You smell the cheese. And when people put their nose, you just went, bam, into their face. I mean, anybody who got caught out by that, probably you were doing the world a favor by giving them some form of severe concussion in their formative years. But yeah, I remember smell the cheese. I just imagine a dwarf doing that on the front line against the Rauger. Smell the cheese. Pop in the snout.
Next up then is painting models with oil paints by Redverse. So this is a rather serious subject.
No, he's painting models. It's not that serious.
Well, he's actually doing some bold text. Do not lick the brush.
Oh, well, yeah. Don't do that. Never do that.
Could be a bad idea.
Technically, you shouldn't do it with water-based acrylics either, but, they're less terrible. But it's interesting because I've started to play around with oils as well recently. So it was nice to see somebody else taking the plunge and the fact that you theoretically have got a much longer working time, so blending and the like should be easier, and they're much more saturated colors when you are trying to do things in white and yellow and stuff like that. So many fucking problems with acrylics, whereas the oil equivalents are fairly punchy colors at the best of times. So starting to get into playing with oils, so it's nice to see other people doing it. There's a few other people I've seen doing a lot of oil washy stuff and oil work. I can't remember who it is. I have a sneaking suspicion it's Josh Togo / Josh Togo.
I think I saw him doing a project.
Because I remember we were talking about his Infinity stuff. We were talking about somebody's Infinity stuff. I'll put the caveat in, it may not be Josh's, but I remember we were looking at it for giving them a golden bat ding, and we thought it had been airbrushed. And then we got a message or a response or reply in the Weekender thread that it wasn't airbrushed, it was oil work. And that was what gives such a very subtle blending. The fact that they could just spend ages doing it with oils rather than actually melting their mind trying to do it with acrylics. So it's interesting. He links somebody that he's been using. I haven't seen that person.
Yeah, I think.
But there's a Italian, a very hyper Italian, who currently lives in Dublin called Marco, and I've been using his tutorials now for a little while about oils, and he does some very interesting ones about just like you're thinking about using oils. Here are the basics. Here's the different types of oil paints you can get. Here's the shit you can do with them, and it goes from there's a video on just you want to use oils. Here's the shit you'll need. Here's how they work. He does stuff on color theory. He's very good as well. See the second one from the top there, top left, the infinity figure with the gold head. Boom. This is a complete aside. That's his 5-hour paint job as a sketch to test out the color scheme he's going to be using for his Infinity Army. I'm going, that's 5 hours work. Now, he is I think he's what you call those painters? Cants? No, he's that's very bad me. He's what's the word? He paints for living. Thing painter. Thing. Words, people, words.
Painter? Patron? Professional?
No, none of them.
Artist?
He does it for money. Anyway. So all day, every day is spent painting. So obviously he can do it much, much faster when you're spending all your time doing it. But, like I said, I don't know what Red Ever's link is like, and I will look at it later. But Marco is very good because he has some very interesting techniques and also some very simple techniques for people just starting to use either oil paints or starting to use glazes and stuff, even just from the basic, fuck on a zenith, throw some inks on so you've got really translucent colors and then do your oils on top. And it's, you can hammer this shit out in no time and then just work on getting better. So it's nice to see people working on oils, and the fact that is the first we've seen from Red working on that sort of I don't know who it is actually. Is it it's a big fucker with a hammer. So I don't know where he's come from. He has a sort of
that's from some extra from some Kickstarter he gets.
Oh, there you go. From Black Hallows sounds hauntingly familiar. Anyway, yeah. So it's nice to see somebody working as a first attempt and getting to sort of follow along with them. And you can see then at the end you're going, well,
he looks a bit like Thanos.
He's not purple enough.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
And the
Could
word
be commission is the
painter?
That's the fucker. I knew it started with a C. That's why cunt was stuck in my head all the time.
Yes, Tuffy,
but I couldn't
prostitution
remember.
could be subsided for that word as well.
Yeah, that works. That works. Yeah,
as always,
so
not afraid to take words in my mouth. And
no.
as Ralph has pointed out, AMG used oil washes on their painting streams for the official Legion paintings.
Right.
So this is interesting. Though to be honest, I tried watching the painting streams.
Is the painting stream not just them going, we're going to be painting some miniatures? But it's all their own shit. It's not like these are the studio paint jobs. Presumably.
Yeah.
I imagine not, because Dallas left Privateer Press to go to AMG, and I'm pretty sure Dallas will still be doing their artwork for the official stuff. And he rarely uses oils, but he doesn't need to because he's a fucking glaze whore. It's like, how many times can I glaze?
Different painters and hosts, so I wouldn't know, but maybe. It's something to interact with the community at least. And they're also painting Armada ships, weirdly enough.
Well, I imagine they're getting ready for their Billion Suns campaign.
What? AMG? Billion
Yeah.
Suns?
Why the fuck not? They're bound to have access to a fuckload of ships. Much rather play a Billion Suns than fucking whatever the current edition of X-Wing or Armada is. Cock a shit with a ton of cards. Fuck it. Get your CEOs on the go and drop your ships in there.
Actually, I would be very surprised if AMG would do something like that. But I would be very positively surprised if they would go out and say, we have the minis, here's the rulebook, go nuts.
It would be delightful. They won't, but it would be delightful.
Well, it's not like they're selling the rulebook separately, so you have to buy the core set anyhow, so they wouldn't give a damn.
It's one way to do it.
It gets stuff into people's hands, and well...
Stuff.
Imagine a Billion Suns with the 400-pound Superstar Destroyer. They did.
Did they?
Yeah, it's about this size. It was limited edition. And it was about, I think, €400 a pop.
Fuck that.
For
That ranks up there with...
one ship.
That ranks up there with GW and their fucking smog dragon.
Yeah.
Which, you know, which required you to hand over like 400 quid and give the fucking staff member on site a hand job whenever you ordered it. Fuck that.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, last time I went to a Star Wars Legion tournament in Bremen, there was a guy who bought 2.
Sure.
And I looked at him and I go, why are you buying 2 of these? You can only field 1. Yeah,
Because he wanted to show off what his job.
No, he was that
terrible
serious and
cat.
telling me, no, because I want to play with my friends, and my friends should also be able to field a Superstar Destroyer.
Well, it's his money. Go nuts, mate. Sure. Knock yourself out. Fucking hell.
I think he was knocked out at that point for some weird reason. Maybe he has inhaled some fumes or something. I don't know.
It could go either way. I imagine if he wasn't knocked out from inhaling some fumes, he may be knocked out in the car park when somebody's seen him leave with one under each arm. It's like, fair enough.
Something like that. Well,
it's not a mugging if it's toy soldiers.
Next
That's why I kept telling the police officer, but he seemed to deny it.
Next project then is for Borki, Demonic CK. It's cock.
It's amazing. It is demonic cock, yes.
Cock.
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
not say cock?
I don't know. Maybe he felt like he couldn't thrust a cock all across the project system. In some way, he felt he needed self-censor.
There's an extra fucking thread for miscellaneous items looking like cocks, dicks, mushrooms, wangs, wieners, dingles, whatever you want to call them. So
That is true.
And there's a terrifying lack of new content in that thread. I'm just saying we need to add more stuff.
Sure.
We don't
Why not?
want Justin to wander off again and look for that stuff on his own that only ends in a who knows what.
He's a girlfriend now to look for the stuff for him. So, this is Moji having finished all of his stuff, he says,
Oh, see,
allegedly.
he actually did give him a cock.
Oh, yeah. So his friend gave him some stuff to repaint, which is why it was all red at the start. But unfortunately, there was an issue when he was stripping the paint off and cleaning it up. He broke the loincloth off, at which point it had to be replaced. And he felt the best way to replace it was using his exceptional sculpting style. It's amazing. Sarah from Sepia just brings that bell end up a treat. So
Demonic cocks.
So I like how every step of the cock highlighting has been given its own individual entry. Easy now.
Yeah, he's working that cock.
Oh yeah, working all the way through. I would not have thought about using a technical paint, and certainly not the Nilex Oxide for the member. It's a little bit green. It's the smegma's gone off there, I feel.
Yeah, it doesn't look healthy.
and then a bit of colour on the fleshy bit. So finished it off with a bit of a Carlsberg crimson shade all over. I mean, it's a way to go.
That's definitely a high note to end the
Yeah.
show
Oh,
on.
I thought so. Now, to be fair, Demon Sub, I think both Korn and Slanesh could be barbed. I think maybe this is Chaos Undivided. Hence why it's a bit more middle of the road.
It's the Chaos version of a Messiah. He's there for all. He brings balance to the Force.
He brings a bell end to the Force. So that's.
Oh God, you're killing
I felt
me.
this had to be seen. Really, I did think about not putting it in.
Obviously.
Actually, I didn't. That's a lie. At no point did I not think about it. But the minute I seen this, it was like, this is fucking definitely going in the show. So
and
there we are.
That's a nice cock.
It has a nice cock to end on, isn't it?
I think we need to leave him a comment.
Which one?
The
On
last
the
picture.
washing the cock. Nice. All the titles as well are particularly good, like laying cable. It's all, everything's been beautifully put together. I'm pushing for a golden button for this. I have a feeling they may not bite, mind you.
It'll definitely get an honourable mention at
I was going to
Christmas.
say, if I get Warren on side first, I could get a golden button for that. I'm going to read my eyesight. You can all look at the grey on my hair. But I don't have dandruff. Head and shoulders. Showed your cock off to the world on Twitch. Delightful.
Yes.
Good times.
This is that's lovely. People deserve golden buttons because of their very technical terms they used for describing monster and demon cock.
Now, to be fair, Throbbing Sword was referring to the sword
Yeah, but
and nothing else.
You need for comedic effect. You need a relief at some point, otherwise people will start dropping dead.
Oh yeah. You always want relief when working on a cock.
Sooner or later, you need relief. Blue
Yeah,
balls don't work.
Should get it, I imagine.
Though I'm actually wondering how tempted he was to embiggen that cock and not just go the normal size.
I don't know. It's like a baby's arm holding an apple.
He could have gone the green stuff roller route and used a snake cock. Though probably then he would venture into hentai territory, which would draw Justin's attention.
I've some beastmen, GW beastmen that were never officially released. One has a pair of penises in place of horns, and the other one has a set of legs in place of horns, but the legs are spread. There's ball and shaft going in, and then down between the beastman's own legs, the tip of the cock is exiting. And I can't understand why they weren't officially released.
I'm guessing the sculptor was somehow stoned while doing that.
No.
Having a giggle all the way.
Fairly certain that they were, they were just leading into the sheer madness of chaos. The old chaos mutation charts in there were practically, do you have phalluses for horns? Sure, why not? It's as good, it makes as much sense as having claws for hands.
Yeah, I think what current games mostly lack is a big portion of humor. at least in fantasy settings, humor shouldn't be too far off, because it just lends itself to being funny at points.
I think there may have been Bob Ollie sculpts, actually. I want to have a look and see at some point. Let's have a look. But, you know.
Yeah, and people will start to go mental if you don't tell them why you're smoking.
I'm not smoking.
He isn't. I know why. I won't tell you.
It's very strange.
Also, actually, I may shave my beard a bit. I was thinking about going Ming the Merciless.
Right. Have you seen the Irish storyteller Eddie Lenihan?
I don't think so.
Let me just, because I mean, we're almost at the end of our tightly scripted half hour here.
Yes, we are.
So this gentleman has been collecting stories of Irish myth for, a couple of years, maybe more than a couple. That's a particularly good video of his beard. You should definitely do that. Oh, but that one's all black and white and therefore moody and artistic. Do you want black and white or do you want color?
Oh, it doesn't matter, because I won't color my beard, so.
Oh no, don't have to worry about that. I'm talking about, did you want the video in black and white or color? But I'll go with this. So this is what we're expecting to see.
Holy fuck!
It's an amazing beard, isn't it? They're fucking magical.
This is.
Eddie's amazing. Eddie is a fucking legend.
You are listening to the Logos broadcast.
I'm never getting that. That's not working.
That one's quite bushy. I've seen it where it's more in two sort of points, which is quite good. Obviously, it's a bit, rolled out of bed there. There we are. Are you just going through various Eddie Lenihan videos now? Just seeing more and more impressive.
Yeah, there are some recommendations where we can maybe get a better picture of his beardiness.
Oh, his majesty. Look at his majesty. If you go to his own website, you won't, though, because they're just audio podcasts. So you can never look at Eddie's stuff by itself. But what I will say is Eddie's in County Clare, I think, these days. But yeah, if you're interested in any way, shape, or form in Irish myth and storytelling, just any of the things that Eddie is on is just fucking amazing, because he just is such a gentleman and a great storyteller.
Rolf is suggesting I should do the John Cleese version of Tim from the Holy Grail.
That would work, yeah.
Which is a possibility, though I have to look it up again, because I think it was a rather close shave. Yeah, and funnily, I don't get any longer. It's just maximum length. It doesn't go any further.
It just starts curling.
Yeah, it's like you can see, and I've even tried to go, like doing this, and no, it doesn't work.
At least you've kept the length. I had to. I couldn't physically wear a mask and do things like gameplay videos because constant talking.
Yeah, the mask just
the mask just ended up going up over my eyes. So I had to trim back, which is very annoying.
Yeah,
so,
but thankfully,
I mean, there's a few people have died from COVID and a few people have lost their jobs. Well, quite frankly, fuck them. I had to trim my beard back, and at the end of the day, I think
your beard is.
I think of anybody, I think I've sacrificed the most, really.
Which is true if we start to look into deeper actual discussions, which we won't do. And by the way, hi Lena. So we have called for 30 minutes.
Yep.
Chat is misbehaving once again.
Well,
which
I imagine they're probably just in a world of Eddie Lenihan right now,
Possible.
listening to old tales of Biddy Early.
Yeah. And you lot on YouTube are missing out because you're not reading the chat, and I won't putting it on stream. No.
I
If
wouldn't.
you want
Not like
the
that.
full experience, you need to haul your ass out on Tuesday night and join us in our
Get your ass to
little fun.
Mars.
And next week, 1 year anniversary.
1 year.
We may or may not dance around naked at the table, or have cake, or both. Who
Dance
knows?
around cake naked at the table.
Or the cake dances naked, and we are the table.
It's always an interesting concept.
Maybe
Cake dance.
I'm going to sniff some more glue to get ideas for next week's show. With that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Jerry. I'll see you lot again tomorrow.